George Floyd, Tony McDade, Rhea Milton, Remy Fells, Breonna Taylor. These are just a handful of the Black lives that have been lost due to the toxic mix of racism, misogyny, and transphobia that's pervasive in society today. As you can tell, I haven't posted in a couple weeks. The past few weeks have been especially traumatic to me as a Black person. Not because I'm surprised by racism or police brutality, more because it only resurfaces the pain and experiences that I've tried to repress over the past several years. I'm no stranger to racism in the US. I've been called the N-word with the hard R. I've been stopped by cops for no other reason than you're a young Black male and we have questions. I've been fetishized. And I know personally for me, I have learned over the years to compartmentalize this pain because without being able to compartmentalize, I would be on the floor just crying and I wouldn't be able to function. So if there has ever been a time to check in on your Black friends, now is the time. No, seriously, pause this and check in. What I have taken solace in is seeing all the people, a lot of my friends, out in New York, across the country, London, Berlin, all global, speak out and show up for Black lives. Black lives matter, and Black trans lives matter, and you should say it. Keep saying it. Despite all of this systemic racism and oppression, one thing you should never get twisted is our love for being Black. I love being Black. Not just because Black don't crack and we're prettier and whatever, but we are a resilient and powerful people because despite all of the oppression, all of the violence that has been inflicted upon us historically and up until today, still we rise. So for today's video, what I love to do is celebrate Black excellence, Black life, and Black people. Obviously, we have to vote, but what we can also do is vote with our time and with our dollars. So I'm going to walk you through some of my favorite Black artists, Black music, Black books, Black products that I am consuming right now. I am continually building this list, and as I add more, I will make future iterations of this video, I imagine. But here's some of my favorites, and I hope you go out and support all the brands and people and products I'm going to walk you through. So, what I will kick off with is some of my favorite YouTubers. Now, these are Black YouTubers, and they're my favorite Black YouTubers, but they're also my favorite YouTubers, period. So first honor on YouTube goes to Jackie Aina. Jackie Aina is a makeup YouTuber, but to me, she's even more than that. She is an amazing activist. Recently, she has been a huge part of the Pull Up or Shut Up campaign, which is a campaign designed to call out brands who think they can get by with posting Black squares and making them more accountable to hiring and employing Black people. And I think she's amazing. Check her out. Nima Tang is also an amazing makeup YouTuber. I discovered her when she first did her Darkest Shade series, where she tested out different foundations from different brands and what their darkest shades looked like. And it basically shined a light on the disparity in different brands and what they think dark means, and the inconsistencies there. And she is amazing. Check her out. I also love Our Rich Journey. They are amazing finance YouTubers. They're a couple, Black couple, who I believe they're in their early 40s and they've retired, and they really inspire me and have inspired me to kind of want that for myself at some point, to be financially independent. Marquez Brownlee. He's a super charismatic and soothing tech reviewer. I initially found and subscribed to him for the tech reviews because he has such a unique perspective on tech and where technology is going in the future. But honestly, I leave his videos just feeling calm. And so now I think I watch them just to feel more relaxed. Highly recommend you check him out too. And finally, this is a newer one. Her name is Kelly Stamps. And she's more of kind of a lifestyle vloggy YouTuber and has made some really great videos about moving to New York and then leaving New York, and now I believe she's back in New York. She has a great sense of humor, and I watch her for her personality and her humor. So, highly recommend you check her out too. Next, on Netflix, I recently watched, recently as in last night, I watched 13th. It's a documentary about the criminal justice system in the US by Ava DuVernay. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend you check it out. Highly informative. I came out of it feeling so much more empowered because I did learn a lot from watching it. So check that one out on Netflix. In terms of what I'm reading right now, so I'm reading two books, one kind of a physical hard copy and the other being an audiobook. But Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie is my favorite author. It has been since high school, I think. I've read her books Half of a Yellow Sun, Purple Hibiscus, and they're all great. Right now, and I know I'm a little late because it's a few years old now, I'm reading Americana and loving it. She's an incredible writer and creates such rich imagery and really like develops real characters. I feel whenever I read her books, I'm fully immersed in a character where they just seem so tangible and real. And if you haven't read any of her books, I'd probably start with maybe Half of a Yellow Sun, but anything of hers I'd recommend. I'm listening to an audiobook, and by the way, if you have a library card, I found this app Libby, where with my New York Public Library card, I was able to listen to audiobooks and ebooks for free. So look into that. But Audre Lorde, I remember reading her in college. She's a black lesbian feminist writer. I'm reading Sister Outsider right now. It's a collection of essays and poems, and it has really been empowering to, I guess, listen to, especially with everything going on right now. All right, next is music. And obviously, music makes the world go round. I'm a huge fan of music, and I found that music really helps me in times like this when I'm stressed or dealing with, whatever it is. I curated a selection of black artists that have been really helpful. I'll link the Spotify playlist down below if you want to check it out. But if you don't have Spotify, obviously Childish Gambino, Kendrick Lamar, Frank Ocean, Solange, Janelle Monáe have all been artists that have been wonderful and uplifting and empowering to listen to right now. Next, I'll go through some black-owned brands and products, starting with Lafette Rosé, which actually I'm not as familiar with, but I did put in a large order of rosé because Lord knows I need a drink. I really do. Check them out. I'll link them down below as well. Caveat being, I haven't tried it yet, but I have heard good things on social media and when I've looked at the reviews. Next is Bevel, and Bevel is a brand I've been using for several years for my shaving. When I first started shaving, it was a nightmare. I would be ridden with these huge bumps all over my face. Turns out they were, I guess, between razor burn and ingrown hairs. It just would always be a mess, and I hated shaving for that reason. Discovering Bevel has been a lifesaver, and I discovered them actually, it's been a couple of years, if not more, and I haven't used anything else since then. I use their electric shaver. I'll, again, link it down below. And finally, Briogeo. I think that's how it's pronounced. They're a brand that I actually did not realize were black owned up until recently. They create all sorts of hair care products. In particular, I use this scalp revival. I tend to have very dry scalp, and this has been really helpful. It has tea tree oil, biotin, witch hazel, and I found it to be a lifesaver whenever I use it. But they also make other products, like they make a conditioner, a mask. Check them out, and they're sold in Sephora, so pretty widely available. All right, and finally, we can't talk about supporting Black lives without supporting Black-led and queer and trans-led nonprofits. One of them I am very fond of is Color of Change. They are a racial justice focused organization that drives campaigns around racial injustice issues. They call out different companies, corporations, and hold them accountable to implementing long term change. I also love the Marsha P. Johnson Institute. The Marsha P. Johnson Institute organizes and advocates for Black trans lives, and they are also doing amazing work. I highly suggest you check them out. I will keep building this list and look forward to talking about an even longer list in the next iteration of this series. But hope you all stay well, stay safe, take care of yourselves, and sending everyone love. I'll see you on the next one.